Okay, this is a video that I finally got time to make for 20C. I realize this is already an assignment that is already due, but this is really a response to Liam who asked about how to do this. So I figured I would put it up. And if anybody would like to make some last minute changes to 20C, I realize that I've been sort of not really on the scene this week. We have the National Latin exam coming up next week, so it's been extremely busy again, I'm sorry to say. But here is 20C. Let's go back to where the assignment is real quick, just so I make sure I have this right. Okay, there it is, 20C. So, in the story at the beginning of this chapter, locate all infinitives and explain their uses. So, infinitives have four uses as detailed here. So, Liam or anybody else who has questions about this is where you see examples of which categories infinitives are used in. So, there's a complementary infinitive, which is basically an infinitive that completes the meaning or finishes the meaning of another verb. So, here we see Marcus doesn't want to climb the trees. So it finishes the sense of what Marcus doesn't want. Marcus doesn't want, he has to not want to do something. So infinitives mean to to climb, to walk, to sing, whatever it is. They're always in that to form. So this is complementary. It completes the meaning, or it finishes the meaning of another verb. And this is by far, I would say, the most common use to the infinitive. So you'll find that in the homework, I don't know if 20D was assigned, but 20D, I remember having quite a few complementary infinitives as the answer. Letter B is infinitive with impersonals. Now, the impersonal verbs that you've seen so far are detailed here. They're nicesse est. It is necessary. And licet, it is allowed. Now, why are they called impersonals? Well, they don't have a personal subject, you could say. So they're always used as it is necessary, it is allowed. So they don't have a personal, like, subject like Cornelia. You never say Cornelia is allowed. In Latin, you say it is allowed for Cornelia to do something. So these are called impersonal, non personal subjects. And C, infinitive is a subject of the verb est. Est, as we know, is, or you call it all. Um, Usually it's going to be est is. So let's look at the example here. Certainly to spend the night in the fields is dangerous. So here, pernoctare is the infinitive, and it's actually functioning like the subject of the sentence. Typically, a person or a thing, or a noun at least, right, would be a subject of the sentence. As in, like, Cornelia is a girl, like Cornelia is a person, right? But here, the verb functions as this subject. So, to spend the night in the fields is dangerous. That is a dangerous thing to do. So the verb really takes the place or acts as the subject in that sentence. And then there's this last one, which is you'll find accusatives and infinitives together with certain verbs like docere, ubere. So that's when somebody else is being told to do something or taught to do something. So here we see an accusative, corneliam, and curare is an infinitive. So accusative, infinitive, accusative, infinitive. So Aurelia is the subject. Aurelia teaches Cornelia. So she teaches Cornelia, that's the accusative, that's a direct object, and she teaches her to do something, to care for the villa, to take care of the house. Um, and then we see another example here. She orders. So docet and ubet are the main verbs here that they suggest that are used with this accusative infinitive here. So here at ubet, she orders a slave girl. There's your accusative there. And what does she order the slave girl to do? She orders her to put things into the chest, right? She orders her to put other tunics and stolas and palas into the chest. So those are your four main categories. So 20C asks you to go back and look at the story. So if we look over here now, we look through the story again. When we're looking for infinitives, we're looking for endings like are, ere, ere, and ire. Those are the four conjugations of verbs and how they end as infinitives. So if we look through here, we sort of scan the ends of words, and we can see our first one is right here, kenare. So then you consider the sentence and then you try to fit it into one of these four categories here: complementary infinitive with impersonals. And again, I'll put that like licet and necesse est are the impersonals that you've seen. So let's see which one it fits with here. So cum Cornelio cenare et post cenam ad mediam noctem vigilare in animo habuerunt. So this whole sentence means, I think referring to Marcus and Sextus, they had it in mind. Habuerunt in animo is they had it in mind, or they intended, and they intended two things. They intended to dine, to have dinner with Cornelius, and they also intended to stay up uh, to the middle of the night or to midnight. So both of these infinitives, canare and vigilare, complete the sense of this verb phrase here in animo habuerunt. So those are both going to be categorized as complementary infinitives since they are completing another verb. And then we look a little bit farther down. The next infinitives are here, videre and audire. And so this is still part of that same sentence. So they were intending to dine with him and to stay up till midnight, for they wanted, voluerunt is they wanted, there's a perfect tense verb there. They wanted to see everything and to hear everything. So they wanted to see, they wanted to hear. I hope you can see that those are still more complementary infinitives, these right here. They complete the sense of what the boys wanted to do, to see and to hear. If we look a little farther down, let's see. Okay, now we're on line 5, 6, 7, and now we see a fifth infinitive, cenare again. So to dine is the infinitive, but what is being said? The sentence is, Marcus asks, "Is it allowed for us to dine here? To dine here in the inn?" Cornelius asks his father. Excuse me, Marcus asks his father, and so we see, "Is it allowed to dine?" Now, you might say that that completes the sense of licet here, but licet happens to be an impersonal verb, as it says right here, licet and necesse est. So you could say that the use of this infinitive here, cenare, is that it is an infinitive with an impersonal like licet. One more. Well, here we got another one. Tibi et sexto licet hic cenare means, Cornelius says, it is, he says, esto, okay, it is allowed for you and for Sextus to dine here, to eat here. So again, that completes the sense of licet. So that would be another infinitive with impersonal there. And yet again, after dinner, however, it is necessary to go to bed immediately. So ire here is also an infinitive. That's an infinitive, an irregular verb, eo ire, to go. So here, necesse est ire. It is necessary to go to bed. So once again, hooking up with an impersonal verb. So we had licet and we have necesse est. I hope that that gets you started. Let's see if I can find one more to do at least this infinitive as the subject of est here. There are other infinitives. I mean, you can see them here. There's one spectare here. There's parare here. Actually, this one is an example of letter D over here. So let's look at that. Accusative and infinitive with some verbs. So you saw that the verb we were looking for was docere and ubere. And we see a form of ubere, which is usit. Usit is perfect tense of ubere, to order. So it says, then Cornelius ordered the innkeeper to prepare food. So here we've got an accusative, the direct object, calponem, and we've got an infinitive there. So this would be an example of an accusative infinitive with the verb ubere, or here the form is usit, but it comes from the infinitive ubere. So he ordered this guy to do this thing. So it's accusative and infinitive. I just want to see if there is an example of letter C, infinitive with est. I'm just going through this quickly here. I know the soldier says something like it is dangerous. Oh, there it is. Okay. So line 18 right over here. Certe in agris pernoctare est periculosum. That's actually from a couple pages ahead where they actually show an example of how this is used as an infinitive or as a subject of est. So here we see again pernoctare, to spend the night, is dangerous. To spend the night in the fields is dangerous. So there, pernoctare takes the place of a noun subject and it becomes a subject. So infinitive as subject of est, as we said right there. There's an example there, and then that was actually Cornelius talking, and then the soldier answers him. Even to spend the night in an inn often is dangerous, he says. So that is again a form of being a subject of est. Pernoctare est periculosum. This is the subject of est right there. So there's four examples. I hope that's enough. There's still more infinitives probably in this story, but that should be a good start, I hope, for you. And again, I apologize for the lateness. I think I gave everybody until yesterday to finish assignments up, so I will start grading assignments finally this weekend. And thank you again for your patience. If I am late myself, then I don't mind giving you an extra couple days to work on it, obviously. Please get in touch with me on PT if there's any more questions. Thanks for your questions, and I will